Hello everyone, welcome back to Energy Turtle. In today's video, we are going to delve into the downturn in the LNG sales of KOGAS in April, South Korea's domestic natural gas monopoly. In April, KOGAS reported a sale of 2.492 million metric tons, marking a downward trend for the fourth consecutive month, and a 20.7% drop from the previous month's 3.145 million barrels. These April sales figures represent a recovery from a sharp 18.6% decline in March, but they're still significantly lower than the same period last year. Without disclosing specific data, KOGAS announced a drop in LNG sales for the first 4 months of the year. Overseas Professional Institution, however, has calculated this figure to be around 14.21 million MT, a 7.9% decline from the 15.429 million MT sold during the same period in the previous year. In terms of sales breakdown, power generators purchases decreased by 6.3% year-on-year, recording 1.221 million MT, which marked the first decline in 4 months. Similarly, sales to retail gas companies also dipped by 10%, down to 1.271 million MT from 1.413 million MT. With a 5.3% rise in natural gas prices effective from May 16 and multiple increases last year, we can expect KOGAS sales to households and businesses to continue decreasing. Looking at the power utilities, a resurgence in nuclear power may also contribute to sluggish LNG sales. December last year saw the launch of the Shin HANUL-1 nuclear reactor. With another large reactor, the Shin HANUL-2, set to start in September, South Korea's reliance on LNG could decrease further. Next, we'll be discussing an exciting development from Chinese electric vehicle maker NIO, who's venturing into fusion technologies. NIO has recently invested in a startup company, NIO Fusion, dedicated to the research and development of controlled fusion for commercial use. The ambitious goal here is to make this technology commercially viable globally within the next 2 decades. With registration capital of around $723.37 million, NIO Fusion is a joint venture. 50% of the company is controlled by the Anhui Province's government-owned energy companies and investment arms. NIO itself invested approximately $144 million for a 19.9% stake, while NIO Capital, an investment firm founded by NIO's CEO William Lee, has put in about $73 million for a 10.1% share. In a statement to Reuters, NIO said that this move aligns with their original aspiration of "blue sky coming," and their aim is to facilitate the research and development and commercialization of nuclear fusion technology. Fusion is seen as a potential game-changer in our battle against climate change. Unlike fission reactors that produce long-lasting radioactive waste, fusion can generate power without such issues. Recent technological advances have brought it closer to being achieved in reality, triggering an investment spree from companies and governments worldwide, who hope to lead in this next generation of energy technology. This move underscores NIO's ambitions in the power and energy sector. Despite criticisms about the cost of their battery swapping stations, NIO maintains that this approach is a quicker solution for powering up EVs and also serves as an energy storage facility to improve grid stability. In addition to this, NIO has been developing battery technologies and plans to build a battery plant with an annual capacity of 40 gigawatt-hours in Hefei City in Anhui Province. Last, we are focusing on a recent policy statement by the U.S. Department of Energy, which has caused some waves in the LNG export industry. A high-ranking official from the Department of Energy, Brad Crabtree, has provided some clarification regarding their recent policy statement. This policy draws a line at 7 years for Department of Energy authorizations to export LNG to countries without free trade agreements with the U.S. Crabtree notes that most domestic export projects that are operating or under construction have been able to meet this 7-year deadline. The so-called overhang of U.S. LNG projects with Department of Energy authorization to export to non-FTA countries, which includes the European Union, has led to overseas confusion about how projects are developed and financed in the U.S. Crabtree explains that unlike other nations, the U.S. relies on the competitive market and private sector to reach final investment decisions, FID, and to build LNG export projects. This policy statement is a reaffirmation of the Department of Energy's policy, which has been in place since their first LNG export authorization in 2011. According to Crabtree, this policy reaffirmation is due to a growing backlog of LNG projects in the U.S. that have been authorized but have not reached FID or started construction. However, the Department of Energy will allow extensions beyond the 7-year timeframe for LNG projects already under construction or those that can prove extenuating circumstances beyond a company's control. Crabtree noted that this policy enables the competitive LNG landscape to bring export projects to finalization, as investors and companies compete to gain buyers and reach FID. In a related development, Crabtree also revealed that the Department of Energy launched an international workgroup on May 16 with about 20 nations. The purpose of this workgroup is to develop a global framework for measuring, reporting, and verifying emissions from natural gas production, processing, liquefaction, and transport to LNG buyers. This initiative is a testament to the increasing global interest in the emission profile of LNG cargoes. That's it for today's energy update. If you found this video informative, give us a like, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on the energy sector. Thanks for watching.